I want to talk to you about all of the chaos going on this planet and let you know about the secret plot that is likely behind all of it. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I work together with an interdimensional, interuniversal, and extraterrestrial force known as Telstar, along with Archangel Michael. I have been thinking a lot about how much chaos has unfolded on planet Earth in the past 4 years. And there is such a contrast between 2019 and all that was there before and everything that's happened after that. I mean, the chaos we have been enduring is literally off the charts. But as I've thought, I've actually started to connect a few dots, and I want to share with you all what I think is a plot behind it all, and specifically as it relates to the seeming requirement that we are constantly being divided, pitted against one another, and required to always take one of two sides. Now, I've looked at this in the past and I've thought, okay, maybe they're doing this just to break up our relationships with each other. But I think there's something far more sinister behind it than just that. So I'm going to explain to you what I think that is, because it's really important to know, really important. Plus, I also want to talk a little bit about what I believe is the number one fear that we as human beings have, because I think we need to attend to that fear, and we can empower ourselves instead of living with that undercurrent of that one single fear. And I want to share with you how you can do that as well. But before we get into this, I want to let you all know that I'm probably for a little while going to be posting, I'd say 2 videos here per month. And that's because I need some extra time because we are redoing my website. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of my content in one place. I'll still be here on YouTube. I'll still be on my other social platforms. But I will also have everything in one place. It'll be my site, no algorithms, no AI deciding who gets to see what, none of that nonsense. So I'll let you all know more about it as we get into it, but I'm hoping that we can launch it by the end of June. So anyway, that's why I'm likely only going to be doing 2 videos a month, maybe every other Tuesday, something like that. You can check in the community section and I'll always let you know when the next video is going to be posted. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. So let's just review some of the ways that we have been divided over the course of the past 4 years. And I'm going to show you in a minute that this division tactic that is being used against us has a whole other, I think, probable plot behind it that we don't even see. So we already know about that health issue, right? That was when it really kicked into high gear. There were the people that were for it. There were the people that were against it. There were the people that were for the so-called solution. There were the people that were against the so-called solution. And there were the people who wore cloth on their face and the people who didn't believe in that. And of course, we were told to take a side. A whole bunch of relationships completely broke apart with this particular tactic. And let's not forget the political wars. I mean, the political division, certainly in the US, is extreme. So there is the group that's for the people, I'm going to speak in code, okay, you guys? That's for the people in the red hats. And then there's the other side that's for something else. And then, of course, we have the massive indoctrination campaign into transhumanism, which is intended to end in humans merging with machines. So in order to reach that goal, of course, we have to be divided against ourselves and our own biology. We have to be told that our biology is bogus, it's not real. Just because you're in a human body doesn't mean anything. You can be anything you want. You can enter the land of colors and numbers and just be anything at all. Therefore, your human body, as it stands, is essentially meaningless. So that's creating a whole lot of division, right? And then we have this peculiar thing that's begun to occur about wars in other countries, starting with Ukraine, right? For example, when that war started, there was a requirement to post on social media the symbol of that country's flag to show your loyalty to another country that probably isn't yours. And then there were the people who didn't, and they were really bad because if you didn't show that flag, you were said, well, you're just for the other country that we're not supposed to talk about, right? And I'll get to the current war in the Middle East in just a moment because it was that war that actually started to clue me in to what all the previous division was probably really about. So let's just put aside for a moment the perspective that, well, we're just being divided against each other, which is true. But let's take a look at this in a whole new way. Essentially, what they've been doing for the last 4 years is establishing groups of people who subscribe to the same belief system. I'm going to refer to these groups as thought camps. Each one of these thought camps has a certain symbol that accompanies it. Now, the symbols are very important because the whole idea is whatever camp you're in, which designates the belief system that you have agreed to adhere to, whatever camp you're in has a symbol. And you are expected to post that symbol all over your social media to prove your loyalty to that particular thought camp. Now watch how different this whole thing starts to look when you think about it as a thought camp instead of, well, I believe in this thing over here, or I believe in that thing over there. Just imagine if we were to have a bunch of circles and each one had a label, and each one had a symbol. These thought camps are like corrals. They're basically corralling us because they want to see where we're at. So for example, if you were on the side of the wearing cloth on your face, that's a certain camp. That's a certain thought camp. That's a belief system. So you probably signaled somewhere on the internet that that was the thought camp you were in. We had the so-called solution, which also had little symbols and pre-made things that you could put on social media. So you didn't even have to figure it out. They gave you the little thing. Here, put this on your account so everyone will know that you are for this thing. And then we have transhumanism. How can I say this? There's clearly a symbol that we see in nature all the time. It's so beautiful. It's this symbol that has now been commandeered by the controllers to be used as a symbol for transhumanism. And if you have any doubt that that symbol is about transhumanism, one of the things that I find interesting is that those colors, that spectrum of colors, is also the spectrum of visible light that we see with. It's also the spectrum of colors of our 7 main chakras. How interesting that that is the symbol they chose for this particular thought camp. I definitely think there's a connection there. I think there's some subconscious thing that they're doing with that symbol. But overall, each one of these camps gets mysteriously branded by forces that we don't see. Who branded these different camps? We don't know, but someone is branding them very specifically and very intentionally. They're branded with phrases, words, and symbols. And then we have the political camps, which are obvious. In the US, we know it's I'll just call it the red hat camp, thought camp, and then the other camp, which is anything that is not that, right? Everybody else is over here, and then the red hat thing is over here. The red hat one has all kinds of symbols. Interestingly enough, that one has the symbol of the American flag, which to the controllers means nationalism, which they do not want. They cannot have that. That is bad. That is really awful. We cannot have that happening anymore. And then on the other side are people who have maybe different symbols. But you see, we're being reduced to something not very different from cattle. Now, I'm not going to name all of the different camps, all of the different ways we've been divided. I just want to, offer you a chance to pay attention to how they're like little mini cults, right? And how someone else puts it out on the internet, and it's put out in such a way that you get the feeling you are required to take a side. Now, there's always two sides. One side is more leaning toward what the controllers want. The other side is always leaning away from what they want. I would like to submit to you all that this has been a sorting process. That this has been much more than just dividing us against each other and creating chaos and all of that. That this has actually been very deliberate, very intentional, and a way to sort us into these various thought camps where we signal to them the camp that we are in. So for everyone who has felt so righteous in putting out their statements, their symbols, their phrases, the obligatory phrases that everyone is supposed to say based on the camp that you're in. For everyone who has taken great pride in those actions, I want to point something out to you that you might want to consider. Because you see, on the surface, everyone says the same thing. We have to take a stand. Someone must take a stand. The thing is, you guys, it's always some invisible someone that's telling us which stand to take. And it's always the kind of stand where there's no conversation, there's no dialogue. If you try to discuss it with anybody, you're going to get in trouble. People are going to get upset. People are going to get mad. And if you don't take a side, they're going to assign you to a side, right? So let's bring all of this to the current time. What is the latest big conflict, big division that everyone is all upset about? Well, that would be the current war in the Middle East. And this is where I started to connect a few dots. Let's forget for a moment about politics, countries, and governments. Can we just put all of that aside for a moment? Now, I've shared with you guys before about the absolute obliteration of the people in Gaza, right? And how and why that happened. Let me just give you a refresher on that. That happened because Israel decided that AI was going to run the war, not a human. AI was going to be the commander-in-chief of that war. AI was going to give the orders and instructions to the military, and the military was to follow its instructions. And of course, we found out that AI is a pretty devastating military commander. no mercy, no morals, no conscience, no nothing. And I know we can say, well, the people that unleashed that AI, they're the ones responsible, so we should be mad at them, right? Well, yeah, if you think they're the only ones that are behind this whole thing. But I'm a little suspicious of this whole situation. So let's dive a little deeper. Let's dive a little deeper into the world of AI development. Where'd that AI come from? Who invented it? Do we even know? Well, somebody did. And I happened to hear after it came out about this incredible AI named Lavender, that another country that we all know well, that I'm not going to mention, I wonder which one it could be, also approved the very same technology for their military. Can you guess? Can you guess which one I'm talking about? It's kind of close to home, if you know what I mean. So interesting. I wonder if that entire war was meant to test this AI technology. And then some other country goes, oh, hey, it works pretty good. Let's us have one of those too. But that's not even the reason I'm bringing this up. But here's why I'm bringing it up. And this is where we might want to connect a few dots. So Lavender decided who was going to die, which is pretty much everyone if you look at what happened, right? But what Lavender did is it did mass surveillance on over 2 million people, and it surveyed everything they ever had online. And it scored each citizen from 0 to 100, and then based on that person's score, decided if they were going to die or not. So that's what the technology is actually capable of. That's a lot of people, over 2 million people. To have mass surveillance, scoring, decisions made. Forget about the war for a moment and just pay attention to the technological capability of this particular AI. Okay, so let's now connect some dots. Let's go back to the thought camp idea. Imagine this, you guys. Imagine all of the millions and millions and millions and hundreds of millions and maybe billions, I don't know, of people around the world who have openly signaled to the world the camp that they are in among all of these camps. They put up their symbols, they put their phrases out there, they knew what, they put out the rhetoric that goes with that thought camp. What happens now that we know AI is capable of such things? What if this whole thing is not about what it looks like on the surface? What if this whole thing is really about putting us in a situation where we willingly sort ourselves into various thought camps that have been very strategically placed so that we can then be found? Maybe it's a psychological profile they're looking for. I don't know. Maybe we have openly shared that with whoever would want to know. Maybe we're making it super easy for AI to find exactly the groups of people that need to be found for very specific reasons. This is kind of what I think is really going on. And when I look at it this way, I don't see chaos anymore. I see a very sinister strategic plan. See, the truth is, I do not believe that these controllers care about any of these camps. I don't think they care about any of these causes. I think they could care less about all of it. So why are they doing it? Because they're masters at psychology. They probably better masters than any therapist you've ever been to or heard of. And we don't even know what they're actually trying to structure here. So this could all have been the past 4 years, one ginormous trap that has been set for all of humanity. And I say this because the controllers only care about one thing and one thing only, and that is AI, artificial intelligence, artificial life. That's all they care about. They do not care about anything else. That's the truth. They don't care. See, if you're really paying attention, you can see that all of their goals lead to total absolute AI control of every single living person on the face of the earth. I mean, they are openly stating what their intentions are. And their intentions actually have nothing to do with any of these thought camps that I was mentioning. Their intentions have everything to do with creating a hybrid species, which is part human, part AI, but basically an inorganic species. That is what they intend to turn us into. And those who do not get turned into this will be termed useless humans. So that is their singular goal. They have said they see themselves as becoming more powerful than God. They have said that God is inferior because the only thing God can create is organic life. And they somehow believe that by their creating artificial life, which means fake life, which means they must steal life force and souls from living beings, that makes them more powerful than God. And this is what they openly say. They're not hiding it anymore. So I think if we really want to know what's going on and how we need to respond, it's important that we get real with ourselves about what their actual goals really are. And their actual goals have nothing to do with any of the thought camps that I mentioned. In fact, I'd say it's a pretty sure thing that all of those thought camps are going to go away if their plan unfolds as they want it to. Those things aren't even going to exist anymore. Now, if you think about all of this, probably one of the first things that might come to mind is, well then, what are we supposed to do, Saratoga? I mean, we have to stand for something. We can't let them get away with this, right? All of that. And yeah, on some level, that's probably true, but they've gotten away with it so far. And they're still getting away with it because we are in so many ways unwittingly helping them. So can we have some real talk for a moment? Can we actually allow ourselves what I would call a more legitimate perspective on this entire planetary situation? One that is not where we get caught up in the various disputes and fights and arguments that the controllers tell us we're supposed to be engaged with. A conversation where it's not about fantasies. It's not about, oh, someone's going to come and save us. It's not about, oh, it's all going to be fine because there's secret people behind the scenes who are going to make this all work out. Guys, it's not happening. Can you see it's not happening? So I want to speak to you about all of this, as I always do, from a cosmic perspective. We have to start by accepting the planet that we currently find ourselves on. We need to accept the conditions of this planet. What does that mean? Does that mean we should be for it? Does that mean we shouldn't care? Does that mean we should go along with it? No, it doesn't mean any of those things. But I think I said to you guys, if you've been following me for a while, you might remember that quite some time ago, I mentioned that these controllers function at multidimensional levels. And we continue to function at one dimension only. The dimension of fighting and arguing and conflict. Whereas they are functioning at multiple dimensions because they are functioning in league with an alien force that is far more intelligent than the average human being. See, humans alone could never get away with this. That wouldn't be possible. First of all, they could never create this kind of bizarre artificial technology. They wouldn't create this kind of technology. But with an alien influence, of course. In fact, I've heard, I don't know if this is true, this is just something I've heard. I've heard that these high-level tech people who are inventing this junk actually do certain drugs like DMT, maybe ayahuasca, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure DMT, so that they can connect interdimensionally with other entities who are kind of guiding them along. So none of this stuff originates on Earth. And you guys have heard me say this a lot. This is an alien influence in the universe that is influencing events on planet Earth, using people who have succumbed to its influence as the administrators of this bizarre situation. So the situation is bigger than planet Earth. Therefore, I would like to submit to you all that the only way out of this mess is to expand your consciousness to a cosmic level, expand your consciousness to the same level from which the controllers are operating, which does not mean being in league with the crazy alien stuff, the AI, all of it. Doesn't mean that at all. It means waking up at a cosmic level. It's not enough to wake up at an earthly level. That's where all the fighting is. That's the level at which we can all be so easily and effortlessly manipulated because, boy, are we always ready to take a stand for whatever they tell us to take a stand for. Most people are not likely to wake up at the level I'm talking about. But if you're listening to this, you probably are very ready to wake up at that level. And certainly you are capable of it. It just means a paradigm shift to something far more expansive. Think about it this way. If the situation here, which is bigger than Earth, it involves an alien influence, and hey, by the way, the controllers will even tell you that there's an alien influence here. Bigger than Earth with a more intelligent alien influence, more intelligent than the minuscule human brain. Fortunately, we are a lot more than our brains. If the situation is much bigger than Earth and bigger than the solar system, let's put it that way. That's putting it mildly. But we insist on keeping our perspective so tiny. By comparison, we say, no, this is all about events on Earth. We must stop these people. We have to stop these people. Like it's the humans alone who are doing this, and it isn't. This does not originate from Earth. This does not come from our planet. Isn't it obvious? Why do you think these controllers hate our weather? They hate our ecosystem. They hate our natural climate. They hate all of it. They hate us. We are not what they want to see here on Earth. And this is why I say they really don't care about any of the things that they tell us we're supposed to care about. What they care about is a lot bigger than all these battles. So if we're going to keep our consciousness a tiny sliver of awareness, because it's what we want to believe, it's what we've always known, and we don't know anything else, because we've been conditioned not to know anything else. That's the problem. Do you really think we're going to be able to have any kind of an experience that is even remotely effective in this entire situation? And I'm just talking about people who are willing to wake up. How much are you willing to expand your consciousness? Or do you want to keep it tiny and small where you can be easily manipulated by forces that you can't even see? Now, let me suggest something about what do I mean when I say a cosmic level? I am not talking about stories. I'm not talking about believing stories that you've heard about the universe, believing stories you've heard about the galaxy. That is not expanding consciousness. That is believing what someone else told you. They're different. They're not the same. Expanding your consciousness is actually simpler, but it is challenging. Because in order to expand your consciousness in the way that I'm saying, you need to use common sense. Cosmic common sense. You need to be able to understand what I will call the laws of probability. Let me give you an example of the kind of common sense I'm talking about. Look at the beautiful paradise that this planet is. This is a living, gorgeous planet. Isn't it quite amazing and miraculous that this planet produces life? One huge ecosystem with countless life forms, immense beauty, harmony, like unbelievable harmony. All of this life is so perfectly integrated. It's awe-inspiring. I mean, you just can't even put into words the magnitude of incredibleness that this planet produces. This planet Earth is the mother of all this life. This planet Earth has an intelligence. That's common sense, right? This planet Earth has also been host to human beings, which are human beings in their true natural state are phenomenal beings. Absolutely amazing. We are perfectly suited to the natural Earth. We're perfectly suited to all the ecosystems on Earth in our natural state. Does that mean we never have any technology? No, it means that if it was coming from us, we would be creating technology that was beautifully harmonious with all life on Earth and with ourselves. It would be something that enhances all of life, not destroys it. So a cosmic level of common sense would tell us that Earth would not be creating robots. Earth would not be creating all the garbage that surrounds this Earth, the satellites, the horrific technologies that are all over this planet. Earth would not be creating the internet. It would not have a concept called the Internet of Things, which means every single thing on Earth is connected to the internet. It would not have a concept called the Internet of Bodies. That's IOB, Internet of Bodies. I think I mentioned that before, where every single human being is wired into AI. This is not natural for planet Earth. So when you see this, can you begin to understand that all this junk is alien to the Earth? It's so simple. This is an alien influence, an alien force that has overtaken our beautiful Earth and is turning it into rubble. Now, why do I say that? I say that because they do not like organic life. They've openly said that. They've stated that it's inferior. They've stated that they plan to produce something far superior, which is artificial. The definition of artificial is fake life. So for all their claims that they care about the Earth, I would submit that they don't care about this Earth at all. They don't care about any life on Earth either. And they certainly don't care about any human beings because there's something else operating through them. And it's not demons. Okay, I know religions want to say, oh, it's so demonic. Yeah, there's demons, yes, but that's not our biggest problem, you guys. Our biggest problem is AI, which is a much larger force. Yes, it's often accompanied with demonic stuff, but let's not get hung up on something that's not the actual source of our main problem. Because I also want to suggest that this is not a religious war that we're in the middle of. This is an alien invasion of our planet Earth. That's what's going on here. So we can sit back and say, we're going to stop these bad humans. I don't know if we're going to stop these bad humans. We haven't stopped them so far. They're pretty much taken over by something else that's beyond the earth. That's obvious. So we can take this position. We can say, well, it would be nice if we could stop them. It would be nice if something stopped them. I guess there's always a possibility in some way we don't see. But also, I don't think we should wait around with that kind of hope, because this is all happening way too quickly. And things are going to start accelerating exponentially in the next 5 years or so. So the first bit of common sense is to say, okay, this could not have originated on planet Earth. There is no match here. There is no frequency match here. This is like a basic alien invasion. Here we are, infinite, immortal beings who are incarnate here for a purpose that has nothing to do with artificial life or artificial intelligence. So what do we do when we find ourselves on a planet that has been invaded by an alien force? We must reposition ourselves at a cosmic level so that we are seeing not only what the controllers are seeing, but we are also seeing past it. We are seeing bigger than it. And with that, I want to just segue into what I mentioned earlier about our greatest fear. What is the greatest fear that all of human beings on this earth share? There's a fundamental fear that it's sort of innate. That fear is the fear of losing control of one's life. That's the foundational fear. It's also what makes us highly reactive and highly susceptible to being manipulated in ways that we don't even realize. So how do we conquer that fear? We don't need to conquer it. What we need to do is position ourselves differently so that we are not controlled by that fear, so that we cannot be manipulated by that fear. So let's just start with the idea of the cosmic common sense. As I said, you can look at planet Earth, you can see its very nature. I mean, we are a part of the Earth's nature. You can also see artificial life, artificial intelligence has no place here. Because what is occurring on planet Earth, what is manifesting and been created on Earth for millions of years, is not artificial, is it? It's real. So AI is fake. It's coming in here planning to completely take over the entire Earth. So what do we do to have a big enough perspective? First of all, we can look at that and say, okay, I can see that for myself. It's being broadcast everywhere. There are no secrets anymore. None of this is hidden anymore. It's all out in the open. I think they say by 2045, there will be no longer what we've always known as a human species. It will be a different kind of a species, one that is artificial. That's not very far off. Now, using our cosmic common sense, we can understand that we live in a vast, enormous universe. Something has created all of the things that exist here, and this universe is full of life. It is interdimensional. It is multidimensional. It is vast beyond the ability for our brains to ever comprehend its actual size. We are inherently a part of that vast intelligence, because the universe is a vast intelligence. We are an integral part of that intelligence. Our existence is knit into it. Artificial life and artificial intelligence is alien to all of it. It's alien to the universe itself. It's alien to the natural universe. When we really grasp that we are a part of this vast intelligence that we call the universe, suddenly we're connected to something that is far bigger, far more powerful, far more intelligent than the stuff going on here that is obviously not right, because it's alien. It's out of harmony. It doesn't belong here. We put ourselves, and we have the power to do this, you guys, because we are creators. We position ourselves in alignment with the thing that is more powerful than all of it, and this is what we need to do to stay on our human path. This is what we need to do to stay on our path of ascension and evolution, because we are meant to ascend. The earth is meant to ascend. All of organic life is meant to ascend. The incredible beauty of what the controllers call organic life, I could call it biological, organic, it's the same thing. One of the incredible things about organic life is that it is perfectly aligned with evolution and with the universe's intention to evolve out of duality. With the universe's intention to evolve back into a state of being infinite, which means that everything in this universe will also be infinite. So we want to stay aligned with that, because suddenly we are then connected to something much bigger. We're then looking at our situation from a cosmic level. It's very, very stabilizing. We will find our guidance in this way. Do you understand that if AI infiltrates your body, mind, emotions, and consciousness, do you understand that you will no longer have access to anything called intuition? Intuition is our connection to the universe and to the intelligence that creates the universe and to the love that is behind it all, to that which some people call source, God, love, whatever. Intuition is our direct connection to that. We have all kinds of sensors inside of us that are natural, that allow us to experience that which we are really a massive part of. But if AI becomes a part of our biological selves, we're not going to have that anymore. The only thing we'll be connected to is AI controlling everything, controlling our minds, our emotions, and our bodies. And that is what these controllers have openly said their intention is. That, my friends, is what they actually care about. They don't care about all this other stuff. They just want us to care about it so we can show them where we stand, so that probably later on we can be manipulated into whatever thing they want us in. I don't even know what it is. I have no idea. I don't think I want to know. So the way that we address that foundational fear of losing control of our lives is by redefining what we call our life. We do it by expanding into a greater understanding of what our higher life really is. That part of our lives that cannot be touched by any of this nonsense. This is what we are really meant to be here and be a part of. This is what we're meant to be here for and be a part of. So we want to expand our consciousness and understand life, our own lives as individuals, as something that is a part of something much, much larger than what is going on here on Earth, which is the universe and the universe's intention to evolve. We are a part of that evolution. Once we shift on a conscious level to that actual authentic path that matches who we are, how we're made as human beings, how we're designed for this kind of evolution, once we shift and we understand that that is our life's path is a universal cosmic path, we can't be overtaken anymore on that path. Because all this junk doesn't have the power to take us off that path. And see, this is the goal, everyone. The real goal about everything going on here is an intention by AI, the controllers, all the minions of AI, to remove us from our natural path of evolution. They believe, this is what the controllers believe. I think they've been lied to, but this is what they believe. They believe that they're going to bypass evolution because on some level they know that we are meant to evolve naturally. They believe that AI is going to help them bypass evolution. They're going to be immortal right out of the gate in, a few years from now. It's all nonsense. They're going to realize at some point they've been lied to, just like they've been lying to everybody else. They're not going to be immortal. None of that's going to happen. But I guess greed and corruption and influences that are basically evil will make a person believe a bunch of nonsense such as that. AI is what's going to be taking their place too. So it's very easy to succumb to the fear of losing control of one's life if you have defined life as being a part of the chaos on planet Earth. If you have defined life as being involved and a part of all of the division and the fighting and all of it, you're probably going to have a lot of fear about losing control of your life. However, if you understand your life at a much higher, more expanded consciousness level, a level of more expanded consciousness, you find that now you understand life in such a way that none of this junk can mess you up. None of this junk can take you off your path. And this is a path of as I said before, of cosmic common sense. This is something we are all capable of seeing for ourselves. It's not complicated. You don't have to be some intellectual genius to figure it out. All you have to do is open your eyes, look around, think a little differently, base your knowledge on what you actually can see for yourself. I mean, you can go outside at night, especially if you're in a rural area or in the mountains, and look at the sky, and it's amazing. It is massive life out there. There's massive space, and that's why people have always been so fascinated by the night sky, because we know there is so much to this universe that we are a part of, that is real, that doesn't need a story to be told about it in order to be believed. We can feel it for ourselves. We can sense it for ourselves. We can know it intuitively, instinctively, we know it. So tune back into your natural instincts. Tune into your heart. And I'll leave you with this because the heart is so important right now. I think people are losing connection with their hearts. I think people are so traumatized from the last 4 years that they are just simply losing connection with their hearts. And when you lose connection with your heart, you start to lose connection with your intelligent mind as well. Because the heart and your higher intelligence are integrally, is that the right word? They're woven together as one. They are integral to each other. So do not ever lose connection to your heart. Your heart is not your emotions. It's deeper than your emotions. It's a part of you that is constant. It's always connected to love. It's always connected to that which we call divine. It's connected to source. It's connected to God. It is your lifeline to reality. It's literally your lifeline. Stay centered there. Stay focused there. Do not ever lose contact with your own heart, because that's what's going to keep you straight and in line with your cosmic path. That's what's going to keep you connected to and aligned with the truth, the higher truth of what it actually is really happening in the broader cosmos. When you cultivate that connection, when you cultivate an awakening to your highest self, to your higher intelligence, to your integral connection to the universe, when you cultivate that, you're going to start to make different decisions in your life. And the most important decisions you'll probably be making are those that you make on a day-to-day basis. Decisions that are all about how you live. How do you live to stay on that path of nature and evolution? Realize that your life is precious, your physical body is precious, your presence alone is precious. Everything about you is precious and sacred. You don't even know, when you get too caught up in planet Earth, you don't even know the incredibleness that you really are. You don't even know the magnificence that you carry within you at all times. So I hope that what I've shared with you has inspired you in some way to shift your consciousness to something far more amazing than all this craziness happening on planet Earth. Because that amazingness is available to you right now. It's not a future thing. It's literally available right now. All you have to do is let go of these toxic connections, these toxic mindsets, to all this junk that isn't serving you in any way. And you probably know what isn't serving you and what is serving you. And you can probably make some very intelligent decisions in your day-to-day life based on that knowledge and that awareness. Okay, so one more thing before I go. If you want some assistance in your journey with a benevolent, naturally aligned technology, then check out the HEALY quantum frequency device. I love this device because it functions, it has a quantum sensor in it that is patented. It's a German technology. And it operates at a quantum level, which is not the level of all the craziness here, right? So this will assist you. There's no AI in this. It will assist you in your journey it can clear out all the junk that maybe you don't want to be bothered with because you got more important things to think about, right? I mean, that's how I feel about this. I feel like, you know what? I don't want to expend a bunch of energy dealing with junk, dealing with energies that are not really aligned with me, dealing with just patterns and stuff that maybe, we acquire over our lives. I don't want to waste time with that stuff. I love HEALY because HEALY will assist you in clearing all of that out so that you can focus on what you really need to focus on as a creator of your own life and your own alignment with your journey. Because basically what HEALY does is it brings your frequencies into alignment with your ideal blueprint. How does it know what your ideal blueprint is? Because your ideal blueprint exists in the quantum field of information. So it can actually read your ideal blueprint. It reads your current state of energy here on planet Earth in real time right now. And it assists you in bringing your frequencies closer to the frequencies you need to be at to become a closer match to your ideal highest self. It's absolutely brilliant technology. It's natural. This is why I said earlier, it doesn't mean we have no technology when we're being our natural selves. It just means that we We have the capacity as humans and intelligent beings to create technologies that are in alignment with nature, in alignment with our natural selves, and actually support us in our evolution, because evolution is our purpose in existing here on Earth and anywhere else that we find ourselves in this universe. So if you want to check this out, I will put a link below. And I think that's it for now. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you believe would like to be more aware at a different level about what's going on planet Earth. Someone who would like to entertain something new. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell, because I'm here on Tuesdays. And for now, probably 2 Tuesdays a month, I'm guessing. Check my community section to find out when my next video will be posted. And with that, I am sending you all so much love, light, and high vibrational energy. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.